When I was a little girl, I used to get bronchitis every year. I realise now I had a dairy allergy. My mother would take me to the doctor, and the doctor would give me this cherry-flavoured medicine, and I would take it a couple of times a day for a week, and I'd be well. Isn't that what we're taught? Germ makes you sick. Take an antibiotic which will kill the germ, and it will make you well. You know, the research is now showing, in fact, I was reading of one research that was done. 100 people got the flu, 50 took antibiotics, 50 didn't, and they all got better because there's a time factor, and that's often what we don't give it. And if someone says to me, I've had a cold for 2 weeks, I'm still coughing, I said, yeah, you usually will. You often cough for a couple of weeks because you know what a cold is, it's a house clean. And it was in the 1940s that the Common Cold Research Unit was set up in Salisbury, England, to find the cause and the cure of the common cold. After about 40 years, they closed down in disgrace because of total inability to find the cause and the cure of the common cold, because they never will, because it's a house clean. And that's what often these guys come in to do. They come in to clean up the house. So if you can keep the house clean, there's actually no need for these to do much. And if you notice when you got a cold, you're blowing your nose a lot, what's all that? That's waste. Waste coming out. And when you cough over those yellow lumps, rejoice, where was it before you coughed it up?
So what do you do for specific diseases? So think of a disease. Pollen allergies. So we'll look at allergies. And what you would do for pollen allergies, you would do for any allergy. Okay, students, this is where you're going to be telling me. So what's the first thing you do for an allergy? Laws? Absolutely. Make sure they're getting pure air, sunshine, and have a look if they're on any stimulants, and then it's important to come in with showing them alternatives and how they can come off the stimulants, what time are they going to bed, are they exercising, often called the forgotten remedy, that one, and looking at what they're eating. I never say to people, do you eat well? I always say, tell me what you eat. Do you snack? And if they say, yeah, I snack to keep my blood sugar levels up, tomorrow when we look at water, salt and exercise, you'll see that water can get your blood sugar levels up. And remember what we looked at today, where are your nutrients absorbed, students? Further down. So when the stomach's empty, nutrients are still getting absorbed into the bloodstream. Most causes of low blood sugars is dehydration. So yes, going through those. Now let's have a look at some specifics. What, say it's pollen allergy, what part of the body is affected most? Is that the sinuses? Okay. Is there any particular foods that they should stop?
Dairy.
The five. The five, okay. So the five. So what are they?
Dairy.
Dairy, that's right. And I think a good thing to say is cow's milk's excellent milk for baby calves. And it is a very thick milk, and so it commonly causes excess mucus in the respiratory. What's another one? Wheat. And then you'll be asked, well, what's wrong with wheat? God made wheat. My answer to that is, he certainly did, but not this one. It's been tampered with, it's been changed. And that's where the book Wheat Belly will give you the background on that, which is important to know.
Sugar.
Sugar, yep. I wonder what I was going to write there.
Oat. Oat.
And remember with this one, works for some, doesn't work for others, but if someone's got an allergy, stop it all. And if they love oats and think, no, oats is okay with me, stop it. And then how long do we leave before?
2 months.
Yeah, at least 2 months. At least 2 months. And then that might be the first thing they try. And I can assure you, their body will quickly tell them. It's like my stepdaughter, Michaela, she had an allergy, so we stopped all the allergens, and she was going very well. The rashes had cleared up. She used to blow her nose all morning. Do you know people that blow their nose every morning? Every morning they blow the nose, blow the nose, blow the nose. She'd get itchy eyes. It was all clearing up. Within a month we started to see results. Then we went to a function and they had like a little balls in a tomato sauce, and we didn't realise there were oats in them. Within that afternoon, all her symptoms started to come back. So that was very clear that she's not good with the oats. Isn't there a fifth? Well, of course there's a fifth one. What's the fifth one?
Peanuts.
Peanuts, that's right. So what's wrong with peanuts?
Mold. Yeah, aflatoxin.
Yes, and they are commonly infected, and that's where you can, the China study is a good book to get the background on that. So we stopped the 5 allergens, and sometimes people say to me, but I like that food. So you know what I say? How much do you like your allergies? And it's not forever. So it's good to have things that you can say that won't offend them, and you're not coming down harshly, but it gets their mind thinking. So what about clearing out the sinuses? What could they do to clear them out?
Hot and cold.
Hot and cold. That's true. Even hot and cold in the shower, that can be handy. Hot and cold on the shower.
Now, some of you might not understand what hot and cold is, so let's break that down in more details.
So the hot and colds are also a very powerful way to deal with pain. So what do I mean by hot and colds? What I did was I got 2 buckets. And in the hot, we've talked about this in other presentations, the hot I did for 3 minutes. Because for that first 3 minutes, when you apply hot water to the body, it has a stimulating effect. So there's your stimulation. What am I stimulating? I'm stimulating blood.
So according to Dr. Barbara O'Neill, batting with hot and cold water can help with allergies. Now let's continue the lesson.
What about steam? How would they do the steam? Bowl of boiling water and the good old Australian eucalyptus oil. 1 drop, yep. And that's usually about 10 minutes. Put a towel over the head to keep that steam in. I should know how to spell this if I'm an Aussie. Eucalyptus oil. How would they finish it, this hot steam treatment? Yeah, a wipe of cold, and that's where a lot of people forget that one. A wipe of cold. Anything else they could do? I don't know whether I mentioned this, so it could be my miss. I think we did. What's this little dip here called?
Golden seal.
Yes, golden seal snuff. Now this isn't just healing for allergies, but also sinus. People say, how often do I do it? I say, well, you get to know what it does. And if it's particularly bad, they might do it every 4 hours. They might do it 3 times a day. They're working, they might do it before they go to work, when they come home from work.
There are other things Barbara suggested you do when you have allergies issues. This is Barbara's secret recipe called the Flow Bomb.
So the Flow Bomb can be used for bronchitis, it can be used for asthma, it can be used for the flu, it can be used for pleurisy, it can be used for pneumonia, it can be used for sinus or a head cold. The first ingredient is garlic, and the garlic is crushed. I'm not putting an amount on there because some people can handle that much garlic, some people can only handle half that garlic, so it depends what you can handle. The next ingredient is ginger, and the ginger is usually, well, it can be finely grated, and usually the ginger is about 1/4 teaspoon. The next ingredient is eucalyptus oil. If you don't have eucalyptus oil, you can use tea tree oil, and it's 1 drop. Next ingredient is cayenne pepper. Now some people can handle 1/2 teaspoon, some people can handle 1/4 teaspoon, some people can only handle a little shake. So that's up to you too. The next ingredient is lemon. If the lemons are on the tree, I say use the juice of a lemon. If they're $1 a lemon, maybe you use half a lemon. But basically lemon juice you're using. And the last ingredient is honey, and usually it's approximately 1 teaspoon. Even if you put in 4 teaspoons, it does not really mask the other ingredients. And then you mix that in about 1/3 of a cup of hot water. Now, if someone has a flu or a cold or a sinus, it's usually taking one of those 3 times a day.
Now, what about for kids? What do you do when kids have allergies issues?
What about a baby? You can't do that for a baby. So what you can do for a baby is finely slice the garlic. You can't let the garlic touch the skin or it will burn the skin. Remember what I said? This is high in sulfur. And so I have done this many times with my babies and my grandbabies, is you get a cloth like that and you put a couple of layers of finely sliced garlic on the cloth, and then you wrap it onto the bottom of the feet like that. So that will never burn as long as there's a cloth between the garlic and the skin. And if it's a little baby, you just put the little booty on. You can smell it on their breath in about in a few minutes. Now I remember after I'd given demos like this at our little local church, this is many years ago and my children were still at home, a lady came into church with her baby, and as soon as she walked in, we all knew the baby had garlic on the feet because we could smell it. But my son James, he often used to get chest colds, so I would wrap the garlic on his feet like this and put a sock on and put the shoe on and send him off to play, and every step he's taking, what's happening? He's squishing that garlic, and a little bit more's going and a little bit more's going in. At the end of the day, when I gave him his bath and I unwrapped him, the garlic looked like pieces of dried out leather. There's not a drop left. If you crush the garlic, it's too much all at once, and that can cause the burn. But if you just do the slices, then little by little, the body will take it in. So what's the garlic going to do when you do that? Remember Psalm 104 verse 14, that God gave herbs for the service of man? When that garlic goes into the blood, your body will take it where it needs to go. And it's very good on respiratory. And so often it'll help to clear the chest. It'll help to clear the airways. Now, an old lady named Daisy. Now, Daisy was about 80 when I met her, and she introduced me to a lot of natural remedies, and I was only about 25 at the time. And she told me that what she used to do to her babies if they had a cold, she'd get a drop of eucalyptus oil on her finger and she'd touch it on their fontanelle, you know, the soft spot at the top of the head. And she said that that would help to clear the airways, because you don't want to put eucalyptus here on a tiny baby. You're hesitant to put it here. They could put it on a toddler and they will breathe it in. It will certainly help. So she put it on the fontanelle. So that's, you know, first 3-4 months. And I remember when my baby had a cold and I'd put the eucalyptus oil, just 1 drop on the fontanelle. I'd put the bottle back on the cupboard. I'd go back to bed, lie down to feed the baby, and I found they could feed. It seemed to just clear the airways.
And the garlic for the baby, you'd rather do that for the baby than the onion?
You could do either. You could do one night and the other night. And you can see what it does. But the garlic's definitely a lot stronger. And what I found with the onion, it just seems to stop the night cough. You almost have to do it to believe it. It seems too good to be true, but I've seen it happen so many times. I've seen it happen with my grandbabies, seen it happen with... Well, I didn't know that one when my babies were little. I knew the garlic, but I didn't know the onion.